This is the flagship. It replaces the icon. You see from the user interface, if you know the icon, this is now changed in the home menu. You can put your picture here. We have shortcuts to get you straight into menus that are, you know, you can change gas in 2 ways. You can push this button 5 times, go into menu, then go into set dive, go into here, and there you are. Or you can go from the home menu, just press once, and you're here already. You can also go into the logbook. There are no dives now, or go into the dive planner, doing a long press, all these kinds of things. But what is really new about it is that we are now we went away from the RGBM algorithm, and we're going to an unmodified 16 tissue wheel with graded factors. Okay. It's what DiveSoft does, it's what Shearwater does, it's what OSTC does, it's what technical divers do, they use that, and we adapted it for recreational diving, but without making it sound like it's something magic. You know, go into the algorithm setting, and yes, I can do the custom 2573 whatever, or I can do my presets. We used to have P0, P1, P2. Now we call them R0, R1, R2, R3. But we're also telling you what they are. The R0 is 85, 85, the R1 is 70, 80, and so on. What do these numbers mean? For no decompression diving, the only number that matters is the second, and it's a measure of how much nitrogen you want to have in your body at the end of the dive. The lower this number, the less nitrogen in your body. 100 would be what Bühlmann said in 1983, and we are starting as a recreational dive computer with a maximum of 85. So we're accepting 15% less nitrogen at the end of the dive than Bühlmann did. Why I chose 85, 85? It's because it gives about the same results as all the computers are on right now. Because whether RGBM or not, you take a Surto, you take an Ubertech, you take an old Mares and so on, at P0 or level 0, they are extremely similar. So it's sort of like an industry standard. With a 16 tissue, the way we implemented it, unmodified, at 85, you get a couple minutes less on the no deco, but your decompression calculation is a lot better. It is the same load, but it starts giving you off-gassing earlier. So you may, I made some examples with an old Mares and new Mares on my wrist, and I would have, at 40 meters after 20 minutes of dive, I would have about the same deco, say 30 minutes or 32. And then as I start ascending, the new algorithm starts giving away those minutes, while the old one was hanging on to them. And only when you get really close to the decompression limit is when it starts shutting off. But the reality of the mathematics behind it is you are off gassing already, so you might as well take advantage of that. So for people diving only no decompression, they will find on the first dive of the day a little bit less deco, a little bit less no deco time. But on the repetitive dives, the current algorithm is very conservative. This one is better. And if you're doing a lot of decompression, the old one was very limiting anyway. The new one is better. What you can do then, we claim that this is that you can personalize it. Let's say that you've chosen your R0 85, 85 because you don't know whether R1 or R2, but you know something about yourself. You go into personalization. And now here you have 3 menus: physiology, I today, dive. Physiology, you give yourself a grade of how compatible you are to diving. You don't necessarily have to see this as fitness, but it's more, there are people that produce more bubbles than others. But for instance, I have enough experience in my dives and I spend enough time in a chamber, then I use a gradient factor of 30-45. So 45 at the surface, about half of what a normal person can tolerate. I produce a lot of bubbles. I'm overall fit, I think, but I cannot have too much nitrogen because they generate so many bubbles. So I dive with a ton of oxygen to bring my deco times down and to get rid of all this oxygen. So I go straight into the custom setting and put it to 3045. I would go to a minus 30. You have to consider that every point of gradient factors that you remove adds 1 minute of decompression. On the first dive, 2 points, 1 minute. On repetitive dives, 1.1 minute. So if you're comparing an 85-85 at the limit of no decompression with one that does minus 30, so it turns out to be a 55-50, this person will have between 20 and 25 minutes of decompression, whereas the other guy was just barely going into decompression. Of course, you can also have the people that say, no, I want to Billman because I can do everything, I can scale the mountains. Yeah. So we give them the advanced setting. In the final version, you will have to put in a password. So this gives you +5. So you can go to a maximum of 99. Okay, you have your physiology of your base setting, and now you have days that you are in perfectly clear waters, warm water, no current, and then you may find yourself in cold water and a lot of current. So with dive, going in steps of 3, you can compensate for cold water, exertion, and things like that. Because you don't necessarily know before the dive how the conditions will be, this menu you can call up also during the dive. Either to cancel a penalization that you put in there, or to give one that you hadn't made. Okay? But anyway, this -9 again means these are gradient. I am diminishing the gradient factors by 9, meaning that I want to be on the surface with 9% less nitrogen than Billman. Okay. Now there is a third menu called I Today, but we should call it I Last Night. I drank too much. I didn't sleep. I'm dehydrated. I feel like shit. Well, the simplest way, and the beauty about using gradient factors, that's so easy to understand. We're not talking about bubble radius, about critical lambda, or all these things that are in a VPM. This is how much nitrogen I want to have in my body at the end of the dive. I want to have 15% less than when I'm sober, and that's easy for everybody to understand. So you drank a little, you put low. You drank a lot, you put high. So now we're back on the surface, and this is telling me what my gradient factors are. How did I get there? I thought I had 85-85. Okay, long press here. This gives me the summary how I got there. I have a base setting of 85. Physio, I gave myself low -10. I Today, high -15. And the dive, I set it to off, and then rep dives and multi-day dives are other options that you have. So my end sum is 60. And this is what I see here. In here.